Folks, let me be clear. Canada will never, ever be the 51st state. And Canada is not for sale.
Let's get into the news of the day. Doug Ford won his third majority. And instead of just being grateful for calling an unnecessary election, he had to take a swipe at Donald Trump, because why even bring the heat down? Like he's going to tariff Ontario into dust. And instead of trying to mitigate some of that, Doug Ford never ceases to find a way to make it worse. Let's listen.
Donald Trump thinks he can break us. He thinks he can divide and conquer, pit region against region. Donald Trump doesn't know what we know. He is underestimating us. He is underestimating the resilience of the Canadian people, the Canadian spirit. Make no mistake, Canada won't start a fight with the U.S., but you better believe we're ready to win one. So, thank you. Thank you, everyone. So, folks, let me be clear. Canada will never, ever be the 51st state. And Canada is not for sale.
All right.
Oh, wow.
So he dropped, 3 seats from last time? What did he get? 80 seats? He had 83 in the last election. So he did lose some ground. And of course, the independent, what's her name? Bonnie. Oh, it escapes me right now. Whispered in my ear, Efron. Anyways, Bobby Ann Brady. Thank you. She kept her seat, so she was elected as an independent last time in a protest vote in a very rural riding. Well, not very rural, but a rural enough riding. These are dyed-in-the-wool conservatives who think that Doug Ford is not conservative enough. They don't like how she was treated by the party. This is her second term as an independent there. So I think that would be a message to Doug Ford, but he's not willing to listen. And his speech, it's like sounds like he's speaking to Donald Trump for sure.
Yeah.
But those could be, that could be a speech given by anybody to the Liberals. Like, it could be like, you've tried to divide us. You've tried to break us. That sounds like somebody speaking directly to Trudeau. But as you know, Trudeau is Doug Ford's buddy now.
Absolutely. Third term, wasting all of those, all that money on another election to lose a few seats reminds me of the Liberals when they did that during COVID. But yeah, I think it's like you said, it's a very conservative place, but I think a lot of people would like to see a new leader if they could. Like, they want to vote conservative, which is, exemplified by that independent seat. But you still get Dougie. And he's taunting President Donald Trump, which I don't think is a wise political move.
It's odd. Like, as an Albertan looking in, if somebody's not conservative enough, we will burn the whole place down until we get somebody conservative enough. Like, we will fracture the party. People will go in all directions. That's what the Wild Rose Party was. And we'll just keep breaking things apart until we get it right, because there's something so immoral about voting for somebody who's conservative in name only. But it's a different sort of attitude in Ontario. I guess it is. I guess it's an attitude that is in politics everywhere. You just pick the least worst, which is Doug Ford, I guess.
Yeah, the lesser of evils, as they say. I mean, it would be nice to see that switch. But I don't know. He's still sticking around.
Yeah. I think a lot of people keep voting for Doug, hoping for Rob. But they never get Rob.
It'd be nice if he
sad.
put some of that same fight and energy into, I don't know, fixing. You guys or Ontario has a pretty bad hospital crisis out there too, like British Columbia. Like, let's see some of that fight. Everybody's getting so riled up over the tariffs. It's like, where were you this whole time with all of the many issues we have? in these provinces that you could have really got excited and championed and fought before you were getting spanked by Donald Trump.
Right. And I mean, it's to deal with fentanyl, and we'll talk about that later on. To deal with fentanyl is to save Canadian lives. And yet,
Yeah.
everybody's mad because Donald Trump is making them save Canadian lives. It's crazy.
I'm not mad
I
about
just,
that.
yeah, like, but it's, I'm mad that they're mad at Trump. Not mad, but I'm irritated that they're mad at Trump when you should be turning that fire towards your politicians and saying, "What? Yeah, why weren't you saving Canadian lives? Like, why did it
Yeah.
take the threat of economic destruction to get you to care about people's moms, dads, brothers, sisters, aunts, and uncles who are dying in the streets?"
Yeah. I said it before in our Slack chat that Trump reminds me of my army grandpa who was always threatening to spank you. And it was just as frightening because, like, you never could call his bluff when he was going to do it. But when I got a little bit older, I realized he never actually spanked any of the girls. Like, I
Yeah.
noticed it was always the boys. And I was like, you know what? It's not holding any bite. So I hope that's what's
Yeah.
happening with the tariffs. It still got us in line, let me tell you, the boys and the girls.
Oh, hi, it's Ezra Levant here in Toronto with an important message because we need your help. Independent journalism in Canada is under attack. Government censors, big tech deplatformers, and the dying legacy media are all working together to maintain exclusive control on the information you receive. They don't want you to hear other voices like ours, and they really don't want you to be informed and to think for yourself. That's why the work we do here at Rebel News is so important. Our on-the-ground reporting, independent news shows, and special content you won't find anywhere else. It's all designed to give you trustworthy information and alternative viewpoints so you can decide for yourself. We don't get government money, and we are not owned by some big global conglomerate. We're funded by people just like you, so please support independent journalism and help us continue our work by subscribing and becoming a Rebel News Plus member today, right here on the page. Go to rebelnewsplus.com.